and we have decided that there is only one place now in the world that two strong men can sarra whack. They call it Kafiristan. By my reckoning, it's the top right-hand corner of Afghanistan, not more than 300 miles from Peshawar. They have 32 heathen idols there, and we'll be the 33rd and 4th. It's a mountainous country. The women of those parts are very beautiful. But that is provided against in the contract, said Carnehan. Neither women nor liquor, Daniel. And that's all we know, except that no one has gone there, and they fight, and in any place where they fight, a man who knows how to drill men can always be a king. We shall go to those parts and say to any king we find, "Do you want to vanquish your foes?" And we will show him how to drill men, for that we know better than anything else. Then we will subvert that king and seize his throne and establish a dynasty. You'll be cut to pieces before you're 50 miles across the border, I said. You have to travel through Afghanistan to get to that country. It's one mass of mountains and peaks and glaciers, and no Englishman has been through it. The people are utter brutes, and even if you reached them, you couldn't do anything. That's more like, said Carnehan. If you could think us a little more mad, we would be more pleased. We have come to you to know about this country, to read a book about it and be shown maps. We want you to tell us that we're fools and to show us your books. He turned to the bookcases. Are you at all in earnest? I said. A little, said Dravot sweetly. As big a map as you've got, even if it's all blank where Kafiristan is, and any books you've got. We can read, though we aren't very educated. I uncased the big 32 miles to the inch map of India and two smaller frontier maps, hauled down volume Inf to Can of the Encyclopaedia Britannica, and the men consulted them. See here, said Dravot with his thumb on the map. Up to Jagdallak, Peachy and me know the road. We was there with Robert's army. We'll have to turn off to the right at Jagdallak through Lagman territory. Then we get among the hills. 14,000 feet, 15,000. It'll be cold work there, but it don't look very far on the map. I handed him Wood on the sources of the Oxus. Carnehan was deep in the Encyclopaedia. They're a mixed lot, said Dravot reflectively, and it won't help us to know the names of their tribes. The more tribes, the more they'll fight, and the better for us. From Jagdallak to Ashang. But all the information about the country is as sketchy and inaccurate as can be, I protested. No one knows anything about it, really. Here's the file of the United Services Institute. Read what Bellew says. Blow Bellew, said Carnehan. Dan, they're a stinking lot of heathens, but this book here says they think they're related to us English. I smoked while the men pored over Rafferty, Wood, the maps, and the Encyclopaedia. There is no use your waiting, said Dravot politely. It's about 4 o'clock now. We'll go before 6 o'clock if you want to sleep, and we won't steal any of the papers. Don't you sit up. We're two harmless lunatics, and if you come tomorrow evening down to the Serai, we'll say goodbye to you. You are two fools, I answered. You'll be turned back at the frontier, or cut up the minute you set foot in Afghanistan. Do you want any money or a recommendation down country? I can help you to the chance of work next week. Next week we shall be hard at work ourselves, thank you, said Dravot. It isn't so easy being a king as it looks. When we've got our kingdom in going order, we'll let you know and you can come up and help us govern it. Would two lunatics make a contract like that? Said Carnehan with subdued pride, showing me a greasy half-sheet of notepaper, on which was written the following. I copied it then and there as a curiosity. This contracts between me and you pursuing witnesseth in the name of God, Amen, and so forth. 1. That me and you will settle this matter together, i.e. to be kings of Kafiristan. 2. That you and me will not, while this matter is being settled, look at any liquor nor any woman black, white or brown, so as to get mixed up with one or the other harmful. 3. That we conduct ourselves with dignity and discretion, and if one of us gets into trouble, the other will stay by him. Signed by you and me this day, Peachy Taliaferro Carnehan, Daniel Dravot, both gentlemen at large. There was no need for the last article, said Carnehan, blushing modestly, but it looks regular. Now you know the sort of men that loafers are. We are loafers, Dan, until we get out of India. And do you think that we would sign a contract like that unless we was in earnest? We have kept away from the 2 things that make life worth having. You won't enjoy your lives much longer if you're going to try this idiotic adventure. Don't set the office on fire, I said, and go away before 9 o'clock. I left them still poring over the maps and making notes on the back of the contract. Be sure to come down to the Serai tomorrow, were their parting words. End of Part 1.